This is an article from Ford Authority. 2024 Ford F-150 owner is frustrated after his third engine failure. Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
This is for the F-150 hybrid engine. That is called, they call that the Power Boost. So let's look at this article from Ford Authority. Canadian news outlet City News spoke with 2024 Ford F-150 owner Mark Mitchell about his experience with his hybrid pickup. Mitchell was featured in a prior report investigating complaints with that particular model, stating that his engine has already failed once, while that engine, which the newscaster called it the Turbo Boost, which is the Power Boost properly named, was replaced at no cost by Ford, but that engine didn't hang on long either. He's saying his F-150 suffered a violent mechanical failure, the third major failure in less than a year. Dane, this is outrageous. The hybrid engine that they use is a turbocharged EcoBoost. And I talked about this for the Chevy hybrids that are supposed to be coming out with the Silverado. My request to Miss Mary Barra is please don't make that the turbo engine. With hybrids, we got enough going on. We do not need to add a turbo system to the mix. What do you think, Dane?
I like keep it simple too. Keep it naturally aspirated. And yeah, if you're going to do a hybrid, I'd say stick it with that for now. Sometimes they try and bite off more than they can chew, and then it's rushed to market before it's completely finished. When I say rush to market, it's not really rushed. It's more like, here's the deadline, and if the deadline's not met, they release it anyways. They can't just push stuff back. And so then they know that they're selling vehicles with problems. They're actively trying to figure out the fix for that problem and make a new revision so the newer vehicles don't have that problem, all while they're already being sold. So that's, I'm sure you've heard people say, don't buy a first year new car. That's the reason why.
Yeah. All right, let's look at this article or this video real quick.
Some scary moments there on an Ontario highway, a truck seen billowing smoke. It happened just months after the owner of that truck had the engine replaced for the second time. That truck, by the way, bought just last year.
The turbocharged EcoBoost. Dane, I got to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the EcoBoost. I know some of them, they're kind of hit or miss. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are, I don't know. I do like Ford's hybrid system. I really like that. But I don't know. This one in particular isn't working
Ford
too well.
F-150 truck engine issues.
I leave the dealership, travel 5 kilometers down the road, and my engine fails again. Truck shakes violently.
Did someone forget to put oil in it?
I don't know.
That's a really
that's what I was going to say. Dane, remember we were saying you don't want to get your engine replaced if you don't absolutely have to, because there are so many parts. Sometimes things don't go back the way that they came apart. You can't always, well, Humpty Dumpty doesn't always go back together again.
Right. Yeah. It's very easy to overlook something when you're doing an engine out service. Like there's just so many things. And yeah, sometimes stuff gets missed. Hell, last week, I told that story about how I was rushed to build an engine to put it in a test cell overnights at Cummins. And I didn't put snap rings to hold the piston pins in place on every single cylinder.
No.
I just was slamming rods and pistons in, trying to get this thing put back together as fast as possible. And it happens, right? If you're under a lot of pressure, you can miss things. So anyways, yeah, you don't want an engine out if you don't have to.
Exactly. Let's look in the comments and see what the people have to say. This guy says, after issues with our 2013 F-150 3.4 EcoBoost several years ago, and 5 different dealers unable or unwilling to do anything about it, we sold it. I never intend to own another EcoBoost F-150 again. Our current F-150 is a 5.0, which has been overall more satisfying, although down on power and torque. And although that engine was replaced under warranty because of excessive oil usage, ouch. I'm keeping the fingers crossed on this one, or I'll be forced to go to a GMC, which has also had some engine issues, which I do not want to do. Ford needs to step up its quality control.
I agree.
Ouchie. This guy says, just build solid V8s. EcoBoost suck.
Yeah, the 5-liter Coyote is pretty good, and the Godzilla is pretty good too. Those are usually pretty solid.
This guy says, I have a 2013 F-150 and now own a 2020 F-150, both with the Coyote engine, 5-liter. I put 187,000 on the 2013 and have 62,000 on the 2020. No problems with either. Sold my 2013 to my son, who now has over 250,000 on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and have you seen what some guys can do with those 5-liter Coyote engines in stock form? Like they can make some crazy horsepower by just putting on a blower or a turbo. My God, they'll handle
Yeah.
1,000 out of the box. They're crazy.
Yeah, they're overhead cam engines, dual overhead cam. So
But it's a really strong block and just engine architecture in general. It's a really well built engine, really well designed.
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, like we're GM fans, but Ford they make some good quality products too. I feel like they're second place for most of the time, but it's good to have them there because they do beat GM in one thing is they employ more hourly workers in the US than GM. So I would like for GM to hire some more people and so we could beat them at that too. I think but it's good to keep us on our toes. Like you can't have a Muhammad Ali without Joe Frazier, you know.
That's true.
You're nothing with you just by yourself.
Exactly.
Can't have Hulk Hogan without the Ultimate Warrior fighting him in WrestleMania.
That's right.
So yeah, I look at it like kind of like Honda and Toyota, where Toyota is kind of like a little bit above Honda, but Honda's still really good.
Right.
That's kind of how I see that. What do you think, Dane?
I'm 100% on board. Like you got to have that competition to keep pushing both you guys forward. But yeah, there's always going to be a victor.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Here's a victor right here.
I love this.
65 Mustang.
That's awesome.
I do think the Mustang for some years does beat the Camaro for some years. I gotta admit.
Yeah, like the 69s and the 70 Mustangs look so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But these Mustangs look good too.
See, remember I was talking about the dashboard?
Yep.
My 2011 had a dashboard and it looked really similar to this, how at the top it has these two parts.
Notice how there's no screens?
Yeah, no screens.
That's
Dane loves
awesome.
that. We're gonna have an article about screens we're gonna react to. There are some. I think the current Mustang is awesome too.
It does look good.
Look at that. I think this is the 2025 Mustang GTD, and this is by Jabba72.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is awesome. And I'm telling you, the Mustang is so much more comfortable to drive than the Camaro too.
Yeah, it's a well-performing car all around too. There's a guy that does track nights on one of the track nights I go to. It has got one of the newer, GT500 Mustangs. And that thing is fast. He's a good driver too, but man, that car is fast on the track. My BMW cannot hold up with him.
Yeah, the Mustang is an awesome car, and Ford is they make some awesome cars too. See, that last video for the Classic 65 was from Earth Motor Cars. Or Earth Motor Cars. But yeah, I'd love to have that new one too, man. I'm glad they still make it with a V8. But look, for people who can't afford a lot of stuff, if you ever have a flat tire, sometimes look, this is like what we talked about with the guy from Africa. He just figures out a way.
Exactly.
You got to figure out a way sometime, man.
Hey, you gotta get to work. You ain't got no money to fix that tire. You do what you gotta do.
That was from FBO Me.